Hello everyone, welcome back to the Violet Hour. I'm Bilicium, and today we are continuing with Death Mark II. In the last episode, we completed an entire chapter, which was quite exciting, but it was a smaller chapter. So, yeah, it was kind of like a halfway point, I believe, or maybe even 2/3 of the waypoint. I don't know. But we are back now, and I believe we are going to be starting a new chapter, which is very, very exciting. I am looking forward to seeing where this goes now. I suspect it has something to do with the red-dressed doll and also the departed, which may or may not be the same entity, but I suspect that they are not. I suspect that they are two separate entities. I kind of wanted to talk about that before we get too far into this episode. I still am very suspicious, and I don't know if I'm being overly suspicious, but here's my thoughts. The red dress doll has been very helpful in giving us information like how to progress or how to like save ourselves in instances with these spirits. Now, while the departed may in fact be the doll and doing this to manipulate us into the desired course, I don't know why they would do that. The departed has already made their intentions very clear that they want us to be successful. They want us to fully save the spirits so that they can eat them because they're more delicious that way. So I don't know why they wouldn't just in their normal form give us this information to help us along the way. So my feeling is this: if the departed's intent was to have us successfully save these souls so that they could eat them, which they've said that it is, and we've seen it manifest 2 times now, then I don't really see the purpose of having a separate image or persona to then speak to us in our mind and tell us how to survive these instances. Me to believe that the doll is in fact a separate entity. That's my first thought, is I don't believe that they are together. I think that's sort of a red herring, as they say, I guess, where it's like to try and confuse us. The second thing is I think that the doll was a seal. I think the doll was on an idol, or it was on an altar in the clock tower. And I think back in 1994, when the clock tower was like closed because it stopped functioning, I think it stopped functioning and the doll was placed there like a seal to keep the departed from being able to escape the tower. And I think those 2 girls, when they opened those doors to explore inside the clock tower, they broke the seal, which then allowed the departed out. And I think that the mark and the hair color changing was sort of not necessarily like a direct curse, but rather a side effect of them breaking the seal. And I think that maybe one of them has been possessed, or it's foolish to think that only one has been possessed, but they both have been possessed. They've both been taken over by the departed, and so they are the embodiment of the departed, so to speak. One of them or the other or both, I think, is a very real possibility, or neither of them are possessed. They just had some sort of like ripple effect in the releasing. And the doll is a guardian that was put in place to keep that from happening. And now that the departed is walking around, the doll is also kind of manifested. those are the things that I've been kind of thinking about. And I wanted to share that before we get into this chapter because I'm curious as to what you guys might think. And I would like to share that with you. So maybe that you guys can have that kind of in the back of your mind as well, because it's in the back of my mind as we go through this chapter. And if you have anything that you think might be the case, or if you suspect that there are things, now the caveat to that is if you've already seen this game or if you've already seen the end of this game, please no spoilers. I don't want to ruin it for myself or any of the people watching this. If I do see any spoilers, obviously I will delete them right away. But please don't spoil it. It's more fun to kind of just, ruminate and think of these things through. So if you already know, please don't say anything. If you don't know and you want to sort of suggest things that you think it might be, you're more than welcome to. I think it's a lot of fun to do. And it's one of the reasons I really enjoy these games is to kind of like try and solve the mystery before we get to the end, right? So anyways, that was a long introduction. I hope you all enjoyed that. Let's get started. A few days have passed since the incident at the clock tower. Woo! K Hospital is surprisingly empty for midday. Forgive the expression, but the place is basically dead. From the other side of the hallway, a familiar-looking man is approaching. Next to him is a small girl. Hello, Mr. Bilicium. Are you also here to visit Damon, Etta? Yeah, pretty much. She asked me to come with her. Suzu Mori Maya. Good afternoon. Oh, you've grown up, you little thing, you. This is Suzu Morimaya. I know it's only been 4 months, but she looks older in this one. Though she's but a grade schooler, she also's one of the mark bearers. After our previous case, she's come to idolize Etta and treat him as her older brother. Etta, why are you taking Suzu here on a weekday afternoon? She's not skipping school, all right? Today is her school's anniversary. I heard the situation from Etta. Mr. Damon's still asleep because of a spirit curse, isn't he? Most likely. No way. Her eyes are filled with deep sorrow. Don't you worry, Suzu. Mr. Bilicium and I will definitely save Mr. Damon, all right? Etta proudly taps his chest while making that claim. I have no idea where that confidence comes from. Despite my skepticism, the display brings a smile back to Suzu's face. Etta, mister, can I trust you too? Of course. Only guarantee in life is death, kid. She's too young for the statement, but this is kind of where my heart lies, so we're just gonna go with of course. Thank you, mister. Yeah, I'd love to just, be like, listen, there's no guarantees. We're gonna do the best we can. That's about it. Anyway, Mr. Bilicium, I'll continue to back you up in your investigation. Etta, about that. Oops, let's save that for later. I've got to get Suzu back home. I'll go to Koju Mansion after that. Call me if you need anything. See you later, mister. Later. Etta and Suzu leave after that. Crap, that was my chance to tell him. Following Slit-mouthed Kashima's case, I told Mo and Sho to stay out of the investigation. But Etta wasn't around, so I haven't told him yet. The character Suzu Mori Maya has been added to the character file. Wonderful. I finish my visit with Damon and leave the hospital. He's still comatose, showing no signs of leaving limbo and rejoining the ranks of the conscious. The doctors have yet to identify the root cause of his coma. If it's true the departed's cursed, that is behind his condition. He won't pull out of this so long as the departed still exists. I drive my car to Konohara Academy. A new notice hasn't been discovered yet, but Mr. Konoha asked me to teach a class this afternoon. I enter the classroom and take my place in front of the students. Then I proceed with the class like usual. When Konoha first asked me to teach as part of my investigation, I thought it would be an absolute disaster. But, surprisingly, I'm doing just fine. On the other hand, the students seem to be doing remarkably less fine. The number of fidgeting students that can't focus on class is too large to ignore. Considering some of them also asked me about my investigation, it's obvious what's on their minds. The departed isn't just a fringe rumor anymore. These students have gone from being amused to being terrified. The human heart is a fragile thing. Seeing these kids with their flagging spirits, I know I need to hurry up and close this case. In what feels like the blink of an eye, class is over. The first time I taught, it felt like time stood still. It's kind of troubling to realize I've now been at it long enough that I'm used to it. Oh, look at that. I'm a natural, guys. I'm a natural teacher. You didn't even know this about me. After school, I started my investigation solo. I think back to my conversation with Doryu and Michio the other day. The departed might be someone close to me. In order to narrow it down, I make the rounds asking teachers and students alike about the people involved in the incident. However, my efforts are fruitless, and all I get is a lot of small talk and wasted effort. I attempt to take a different angle to figure out the departed's true identity and think it over. Oh, the departed is good at hiding. Let's say they're able to take the place of someone else. And when they do, they can perfectly duplicate that person's looks, memories, and personality. It'd be the perfect disguise. Nobody could see through that. With that level of deception, the only real chance to know their true identity would probably be once they've achieved their goal, which will likely be when they exchange vows with their dead husband. Exchange vows with their dear husband. And for me, that would either be death or a fate worse than death. So I have to find the answer before then. I glance up and notice that it's already dark out. It's time for the students to leave school. I'm not getting anywhere by blindly hunting for clues. I better go to the infirmary and put together a real plan of action. I find a woman in white cloak waiting inside the infirmary. For a moment, I think she's the school nurse, but then I see her face. Ah. Hello, Bilicium. I never would have imagined you'd be a teacher here. I was really shocked when I heard the news from Damon. Hiro, why are you here? To help you out with the investigation. What else would I be doing here? I never would have imagined I'd hear the word help come out of Hiru's mouth. There's gotta be a reason. Ask about Hiru. I think it's Roo, like R-O-O, Roo. I'm gonna go with Hiru instead of Hiro. She's Madoka Hiru. She wears a white coat, but not because she's a doctor. Hiru's a mark bearer who works at a pharma company as a researcher. If I remember correctly, you don't handle paranormal phenomena all that well. Oh, well, true. I mean, after all the suffering I was put through before, how could I be expected to like it? Yeah, you did kind of get beheaded. So, why are you here then? Jeez, you're so annoying. I have my own reasons, all right? She's rather intelligent, but Hiru also has quite the cowardly streak. However, there are times when her curiosity gets the better of her, and she ends up poking her nose into bizarre incidents. Call it a test of courage, I suppose. To tell you the truth, I'm here because Damon asked. In the event that something were to happen to him, he asked that I come help you in his stead. Hence, I'm here, using up my paid leave. I appreciate you taking your obligation to Damon seriously, but this case is extremely dangerous. There have been a lot of casualties lately. Oh, come now, don't patronize me. I'm fully aware of the dangers present. Then why are you... Because I want to save Damon. Simple as that. They're my friends too, not just yours. Talk about the investigation then. Damon appraised me of the situation. A spirit known as the Departed issues notices targeting people and then has other spirits kill them, correct? Yeah, and it has been pretty successful. We have a number of victims already. That spirit seems to have some human tendencies, eh? They behave a bit like a serial killer. The Departed is different from any other spirit I've encountered so far. They're cunning, and they possess the ability to pass themselves off as a human and hide within the school. And I've also heard they're obsessed with you, no? You sure have a strong connection with spirits, Bilicium. I guess so. I wonder if that's just another aspect of my lineage, like the way I seem to be able to see paranormal phenomena that others can't. Well then, shall we proceed with the investigation? Wait a minute, Hiru. I'm going to investigate alone. I don't want to get you involved in this. Say what? You're just going to disregard my feelings? I don't get a say in the matter? Hiru, didn't you understand what I told you before? You aren't the only one who feels frustrated about what's happened to Damon. So you better ditch that weird, I'm the only one who can carry this burden, I'll sacrifice myself mindset. It really gets on my nerves. But I'll just take matters into my own hands if you keep insisting I stay out of this. Just give up. A triumphant smile brightens her features. I don't think I'm going to win a war on wits against her. Moving on to your investigation. I've heard there's no new notices yet. As of this moment, that is correct. I have a feeling one will arrive soon, though. Let's go check the faculty room. You have a sixth sense or something? I guess you can call it that. I have a feeling the Departed wants me, their dear husband, to continue pursuing this case. If my hunch is correct, that means that they'll be more likely to issue a notice while I'm here at school. Madoka Hiru has joined the investigation. The character file has been updated. Trade. There are sacred objects in the corner of the room. So I have 2 from the last chapter, and I never got the chance to actually check and see if there was maybe 6 more hiding somewhere. I suspect there probably was, and I only got 2 out of the 6, or out of the 8, which makes me really, really sad. But the number of lost souls left in this chapter, which is a brand new chapter, is 8. So, I'm going to use the 2 that I have right now. Oh, bag enhancement, 3 lost souls. Oh, that's not good. Okay, well, let's go. When I get to the room, one of the teachers informs me that Mr. Konoe is away at the moment, which unfortunately means I'm going to have to ask Sakamoto. Goodness gracious, you again. Sakamoto's cold tone of voice makes it apparent she finds this meeting just as unfortunate as I. What's your business here? I have work to do. Has a new notice from the departed arrived? Notice? Oh, now that you mention it, I did get a report of something like that earlier. What about it? What are you being so nonchalant for? Why didn't you tell me sooner? I believe I made my position quite clear. I find this investigation of yours to be, at best, a pointless waste of time. Sakamoto shoots a withering glare in my direction, looking like she'd swallowed a bug. She's usually pretty open about her dislike of me, but she's taking it to another level today. I got a report from the dorm manager the other day. She informed me that you took Doru and Kinakawa out and made them violate their curfew. The headmistress might have ordered me to let your absurd behavior slide, but this is unacceptable. So that's why she's being particularly hostile toward me today. I didn't make those girls break curfew, but I can see how it skew that way in Sakamoto's mind, and I doubt my explanation would change much. Those notices are pranks. It's mere coincidence the students disappeared when the notices were issued. The departed, ghosts, and the supernatural, it's all a bunch of ludicrous nonsense. To think a man like you has sullied the good name of teachers just to investigate this rubbish. Sakamoto practically got steam coming out of her ears. I wonder what I can do to calm her down. Throw water in her face. Try to reason with her. Ask her to at least cooperate. Be delicate? I'm going to ask her to at least cooperate, which I feel like is very forceful, and she may not appreciate that, and probably be delicate's better approach. But I don't really feel like that. I feel like I'm going to ask her to at least cooperate. She doesn't have to like me, and she doesn't have to like what I'm doing. The headmaster has asked me to do a job, and I'm doing that job. So I don't care if you believe in the departed or not, but I'm only here because Mr. Konoe hired me, and I'm trying to do the job my client, your boss, asked me to. Can you at least cooperate? Ugh. Where's the new notice? I don't have it with me. I told the student who picked it up to throw it away. You told them to do what now? Which student was it? Kakuta. Kakuta. From the disciplinary committee. He found it when patrolling the school. What does he look like? He's a strapping, well-built boy. He's in the karate club. On the 3rd floor. I know what he looks like. Oh my, look at the time. I have to go now. I have a meeting. I hope you get fired. Before I can even protest, Sakamoto's already left the room. Other teachers are following suit. Well, she's clearly not a fan of yours, Bilicium. Though you pretty much earned that treatment for hitting on high school students. That's not what happened. Stop making things weird. Looks like we're going to have to put in some effort to find Kakuta boy. I mean, we might stumble upon him simply by stopping to talk to each stout student we see on the way. But it'd be nice if we had a bit more information to go on. More info? Doryu or Michiho might know him. Sakamoto obviously going to be keeping a close eye on my contact with those two, but I can't let that interfere with my work. So to the student council we go. Hi-ho! Doryu is organizing documents in the student council room. Oh, Mr. Bilicium, thank you again for your help. Sorry, but I'm in a hurry. Do you know Kakuta? I've heard he's a big guy from the disciplinary committee. I know him. He's in 2C. How about you try looking for him in his classroom? Got it. Thanks. Now loading. Haha, you thought I was gonna go in. Fools! Hey, wanna go home together? The sun's almost set. Why me? So you don't care if I get killed by the departed on my way home? What? That's not what I said. Let's go home together then. Ha! Fine, what a pain. Two people who look like siblings leave the classroom. Interesting. I'm looking for those secrets that always seem to be hiding. The school is getting strange these days. I know, right? It smells musty here. It's because of the departed. Oh, I've heard there's an outbreak of mold somewhere in the school. Yikes, just imagining that makes my skin itch. Anyway, let's go home. Yeah. Right by you two. The couple leaves the area. This door leads to the female restroom. Hiru, can you inspect this area? Oh, alright. Wait a sec. I looked inside, but there doesn't seem to be anything in the ordinary. Cool. Alright, now the male's restroom. Take your time. Oh, I will. Don't you worry, I will. Alright, I was kind of fast about that, actually. It's locked. The door won't open. Interesting. Okay. The second floor corridor is just ahead. There's a crumpled paper in between the gap. Okay, second floor is still off limits. For now. Miho. Oh, hello there. I caught a painted lady in the courtyard earlier. Want to watch some butterflies together? Sorry, but I'm in a hurry right now. Do you know Kakuta? I've heard he's a big guy from the disciplinary committee. Oh, I saw him go to the third floor just now. What business do you have with that karate guy, though? Is this new notice targeting the Karate Kid or something? I don't know yet, but thanks for the info. Am I checking everywhere but where I need to go? Yes, I am. The windows are covered by curtains. Hello, ladies. Are we the only ones left in the school? Nope, I think the student council members are still here. Damn, they sure like to stay late despite all the rumors. I don't really feel the departed since I know you're going to protect me. The heck are you talking about? I'm totally not saving you. I'm not good with ghosts and stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna go home now. What? Me too. The female students take their stairs down. It's for the best, really. Chairs sit atop the nicely lined up desks. I find a door leading to an emergency exit. Okay. It's locked. The door won't open. Yep, I'm still checking all of the bathrooms just in case. I saw a big guy go in the back of the hallway earlier. It's probably Kakuta from second year. I wonder what he's up to. Yeah, I wonder. But first, we walk through all of the classrooms. The windows are covered by curtains. Riveting conversation we're having here. You see those curtains? On windows. You see those windows? They've got curtains. Do they now? Who would have guessed? You see these chairs stacked on top of the desks? I find a door leading to emergency exit. Yo, yo, yo. There's a big, well-built guy standing over there. He looks pretty strapping. Are you Kakuta?
Us?
Us. Shinichi Kakuta. Yes, the name Shinichi Kakuta. Where's the departed's notice? I'm hoping you haven't thrown it away already. No, I still have it. Miss Sakamoto told me to trash it, but I felt like I should show it to you since you're investigating them. Thanks a lot. You should thank Doru and Kinukawa. They've been asking everyone to pitch in and help you out. He pulls out the departed's notice and hands it to me. If that's it, I'll be heading to my classroom. Feel free to come by to see if you still need anything. I'll be at school for a while. I might actually just come right back to you, because I suspect you might be the one that I need to save. Kakuta then walks off. I quickly scan the new notice. It has all the hallmarks of a previous notice. An accordation folded piece of paper with eerie handprints on it. So this is what a notice looks like, eh? Heh. It's really giving off the horror vibes. Hurry up and check it out, come on. Dear Hooligan, Kokkuri will kill you tonight. I'm watching hiding in the school. Your beloved, the departed. The hooligan. Wait, who's the hooligan? And Kokkuri. Notice for hooligan. The next victim is hooligan, and the spirit is Kokkuri? So by hooligan, they mean those boorish thug types, right? Yeah, so I think we should try and gather information that would lead us to identify these two things. Asking the remaining students would probably be more fruitful than asking the teachers. The faculty doesn't seem so cooperative. Yeah, and maybe that student council girl will tell you. I mean, she actually appears to be trying to help you. Also, I'd like to hear more from the Kakuta kid. Yeah. What's with you? Yeah, come on, give me more to work with than that. This is your operation here. Don't make me handle everything alone. Oh, okay. As much as I want to point out that she's cutting me off every time I try to speak, I hold my tongue. Besides, Hiru's plan of attack is basically what I would have suggested. We better start asking around about hooligan and Kokkuri. I feel like Kuri, K-U-R-I, is like I want to say it's like a squash. I know that sounds super strange, and I don't know if that's true or not, but I feel like I have gotten a like a summer squash, or like a I don't know, it's called like a kuri, but I might just be crazy, so you know. It's so funny too, because like my brain's like, wait, kuri? Isn't that squash? What? What? Could it be? You again. Remaining man. It's about time to leave school anyway. Now I've got to prove that the departed won't appear even if I stay here alone. Hanuko this, Kokkuri that. The people in the school are wacky. Who even believes ghosts and demons exist? Looking closely, the male student's legs are obviously trembling. I wish I could just kick him out and be like, hey, you need to leave now. That would be great. Hey. Did you find Kakuta? Yes, thank you. I'm happy that I could help. So what do you want to talk about? Actually, we found a new notice. Whoa, so another one's finally here, huh? Show me! I show Michio the departed's notice. Huh. So the next spirit is Kokkuri. Well, Kokkuri usually refers to that old fortune-telling technique, but I'm sure you already know about that, right? I do not. Let me explain it to you then. Kokkuri is a fortune-telling technique that's uses a coin and a piece of paper. You summon a spirit named Kokkuri and ask them some questions. It can be dangerous since you're dealing with a spirit after all. There are some people who get a big scare out of it. But the Kokkuri mentioned in this notice is a ghost, not a fortune-telling technique. So Kokkuri is both the name of the technique and the summoned spirit. And the rumor is referring to the spirit. Can you tell me more about it, Michio? Sure, why not? Let's chitty-chat. That reminds me, Himi and I were called by Miss Sakamoto this afternoon. Do you know what she said? Don't get too close to Mr. Bilicium. He doesn't belong here. Oh, okay. Sorry, I shouldn't have talked to you. She's probably gonna give you a lecture. Don't worry about it. You're my lifesaver, and you're hunting down the departed like I am. Kokkuri. So about the Kokkuri in the notice, I have a feeling it might be referring to Mr. Kokkuri. Yeah, let's have started with that instead of the fortune-telling thing. There's a rumor like that at Konohara Academy.
五章こっくりおじさん
Have you ever gone to the corridor on the second floor? Of course not. That place is restricted. Do you know why? It's because of the Kokkuri shrine. That place is cursed. I'm not lying. It's the truth. I've even heard the story about it. One rainy day, some delinquents were hanging out on the second floor corridor. They were kind of notorious. They were getting in fights on a daily basis. There were even rumors that they were into drugs. I guess they must have been bored, so they were messing around with the shrine as a dare, all laughing with their stupid faces. They were kicking the shrine and scribbling on it, all sorts of things. One of them even put out a cigarette on it. The wind and rain got stronger. The delinquents were about to head back inside. At that moment, they heard a voice mixed with the wind. They turned toward the old shrine, the source of the voice, figuring someone must have been playing a prank on them. Except they were the only ones in the corridor. Obviously, they thought they were just imagining things. Those delinquents looked at each other and ran away from the corridor as fast as they could. But that night, one of the delinquents, the one who snuffed out his cigarette on the shrine, felt a pain in his ear. He felt a strange sensation when he touched his ear. It was dry and rough. It was weird, like there was something in his ear. Terrified, he went to check himself in the mirror. Mushrooms were growing from his ear. Folded cap mushrooms that looked like maitake. The mushrooms continued to spread from his ear to his neck, his cheeks, then his chin. The delinquent shrieked, and then he called an ambulance. He got himself checked in at the hospital. They found no trace of mushrooms, but his ear had a really bad infection. The skin was rotting away, so they had to cut his ear off. When a teacher heard this story, they said, "It's the curse of Kokkuri Shrine." That voice must have been Mr. Kokkuri's, and that was his work. The rumor says Mr. Kokkuri is the apparition of a priest who haunts the shrine. And that was the rumor about Mr. Kokkuri. So please stay away from the shrine in the second floor corridor. If you're cursed by that mushroom, your lovely face will be ruined. It's Mr. Kokkuri, the name of the shrine? Correct. It's called Mr. Kokkuri because the shrine has a mysterious voice. No one knows what Mr. Kokkuri looks like, as they've only heard his voice. Creepy, isn't it? Hooligans. Hooligan. I can't think of anyone. Maybe Zumi? I guess, but he's dead already. We're gonna chat one more time. Don't pay any attention to what Miss Sakamoto said. Hime and I are your allies. Okay, thank you. By the way, Mr. Bilicium, I've never seen the person beside you. Is she a doctor like Mr. Damon? I'm a researcher, not a doctor, though I do also deal with the health of living beings as part of my job. Oh, I see. An idol and a female scientist, huh? You sure have some amazing and gorgeous assistants. By the way, which one do you prefer? They're both dependable in their own ways. I has the stamina. Hiru has the intelligence. That's not what I mean. Oh well, it was stupid of me to expect something. You two sure are close. This girl might be the departed, you know. Shush, Hiru. Oh, I don't mind, as long as Mr. Bilicium trusts me. But I don't. Sorry, it's a joke. I'm kind of on edge since we don't have any idea who the departed might be. I don't mind. In this kind of situation, it's natural to have some suspicions. I miss my normal school life. Hey, Bilicium? Shouldn't we be able to pretty much guess who Hooligan may be? Based on what Michio told me about the Mr. Kokkuri rumor. A bad teacher. A delinquent student. Shinichi Kakuta? I don't know that he's a hooligan. He's just muscular. He could be like a straight A, like, you know, clean kid. I don't know. A bad teacher? I don't think so. It's gotta be a delinquent student. I agree with you there, but I still have no clue who that might be. The rumor said a delinquent student was cursed by the shrine in the second floor corridor. Why don't we go take a look there? Wait, are you serious? Aren't you being too cavalier here? We're going to be stepping into some deep shit if we approach that shrine. I'm not doing it for entertainment. It's for the investigation. You can stay here if you don't want to go. I never said I didn't want to go. I just wondered if there was a better way to do this. But that's it. I'm not scared at all. Good, me neither. 2A. 2B. We meet again. Hello, Mr. Bilicium. Do you still need anything from me? Yes, please. I've actually read that notice. A spirit named Kokkuri is going to kill a hooligan tonight, right? Well, Mr. Kanoa told me not to discuss the incident with the students out of consideration for their mental well-being. I can't just give him a dismissive reply, though. No need to hide it. The rumors have spread. Izumi, the pianist, and Hirokoshi, the model, have been killed, just as the notice said anyway. And the one who killed them was a spirit named the Departed, right? They're hiding in the school right now. If rumors of the incident have already spread to this extent, I'm not doing anyone any favors by keeping my mouth shut. I doubt that these rumors have been purposely spread by any one target. These students believe the Departed, and they're connecting the dots, spreading the rumors on their own. The weaker students must be tired of living in fear. I guess they're scared of the idea that the person next to them might be the Departed. Are you not scared, Kakuta? Me? Scared? No way. If a spirit dares show itself to me, I'll just go to work with these fists. Haha. Cool. What do you know about Kakuta? What do you know about Kokkuri? Because I don't really understand spirits. How about asking Kinakawa from Student Council? She seems to know a lot about this kind of stuff. Okay, what about the hooligan? That's the person mentioned in the notice, right? Do you have any idea who it may be? If we're talking about hooligans at this school, I can only think of the delinquents. Those punks keep ignoring the school rules, and they really pissed me off. Kakuta's on the disciplinary committee, so it's not surprising that the behavior of some punks has got him all riled up. But who are they? If the spirit is targeting those delinquents, I'm supporting it 100% of the way. Those spoiled punks deserve some punishment. Okay, but who are they? Oh, I don't like that. Because I don't really understand spirits. Okay. So, okay. Let's chat one more time. More and more students are getting terrified by the departed. It's not a good thing at all. If you ask me, though, I think I need to train my mind and body more. Okay, I'm done. Thank you for whatever it was you just gave me. All right, let's go. The second floor corridor is just ahead. There's a crumpled paper in the gap. Warning, second floor corridor is off limits. The shrine where people supposedly heard Mr. Kokkuri's voice should be right ahead. Looks like the door is unlocked. Let's check the place out. So you have a warning paper, but you didn't lock the door. That makes no sense. I don't understand how that's supposed to work. Oh, creepy. We're just gonna keep walking. Hey, look. We're just gonna keep going. Wow. Look at that. Wonderful. The door is locked and tightly shut. I can't enter the old building from here. Do you know what the big straw rope in front of this door is? I have a feeling it's telling us not to enter, like, in a spiritual sense. I'm getting goosebumps. Cool. That sucks. Alright, are you ready? Delinquent girl. A tanned, obstinatiously styled girl is absent-mindedly lingering near the shrine. Give her a friendly greeting. Warn her or leave her be. This girl is idly standing here. No, give her a friendly greeting. Hello there. Her reply is unintelligible. More of a groan. Just ignore her, Bilicium. Something's wrong with her. No, I'm not gonna ignore. There's... That's it? I can't... I don't like that. An old shrine is standing here. This has got to be the shrine from the rumor about Mr. Kokkuri. Let's take a closer look. The first thing that stands out is that it's a rather small shrine. It's completely weathered after being exposed to the elements for a long period of time. Another noticeable feature is the number of talismans on it. The image on the talisman looks kind of like a centipede. There's a small gap in the shrine door. It's too dark to tell what's inside, though. We need to open the door first if we want to see what's inside. Alright, let's open it. I reach toward the door to check what's inside. Old man. The female student next to me groans and slowly forces out some words. Don't do anything bad to the shrine. Open the door. Old man, you're... A hooligan! Growling, the female student launches an attack. I'm not a hooligan, though. But also cool character design. With a terrifying look in her eyes, the female student raises something resembling a baton. I see something that looks like mushrooms around her neck. Maybe she's possessed. Hiru, bag. Take the attack. Attack. Okay, 86 I don't really know what take the attack and attack means. Does it mean like attack her or just like guard ourselves? I'm gonna say take the attack. And hope that means that I'm not trying to hurt her, because I suspect she's under some sort of a possession. We try to use my bag as a shield to block her attacks. We clutch the bag tightly and block her attack. Nice! The female student recoils. Grab her, Hiru. Okay, calm down. Hiru captures the student's arm from behind. Helping out, I immediately restrain her. The student lets out a yell and then goes quiet. Looks like this is the right choice. Whoa, thank goodness we didn't kill anyone. The student faints and the mushrooms on her neck instantly vanish. So it really was a spiritual phenomena. Assuming the rest of the rumor is accurate, that would mean the mushrooms were the shrine's curse. Keep an eye on her, Hiru. I'll investigate the inside of the shrine. Sure thing. Like, literally keep your eyes on her the entire time. I walk toward the shrine and put my hand on the door. There's a talisman on it. Inside the shrine, I find some bizarre stuff. A petri dish used for experiments. Inside the dish is a dead centipede. Some red substance appears to be growing from the centipede. What in the world is it? Oh, I see you found something interesting. Those red filaments are probably mushrooms. It's difficult to tell without the caps. Without me realizing it, Hiru's already peering over my shoulder. Looks like those are mushroom growing on the dead centipede. I think they're Phenochlorsips? Sinensis? Very interesting. Sorry, I'm really bad with like genus and species names. Might as well be in Japanese. It's a foreign language to me. So I will enunciate the words probably very bad. But what's it doing here? Old shrines aren't usually a place where you'd store lab equipment. What are you going to do with the petri dish? Bet you're gonna keep it. I guess so, yeah. With a lid on it though, right? Pressed by Hiru, whose eyes are sparkling with curiosity, I collect the petri dish. Obtained! Creepy petri dish! What are you gonna do with her? Doesn't seem like she's gonna regain consciousness anytime soon. We can't just leave her here. Let's take her back to the infirmary. Yeah, I would say the infirmary is a good place for her. She has passed out, so putting her on one of the beds to let her rest, might be good. I hoist the female student onto my back and leave the corridor. From there, I walk straight to the infirmary. The smell of cigarette smoke assaults my nose the moment I enter. Ah! Satoru! Mishida! I have missed you. You're finally back. I've been waiting. Inside, I see a sharp-eyed man tossing his cigarette into a portable ashtray. Mashida! Ugh, the smell of cigarettes. Hey, no smoking inside the school. There are kids here. You're a terrible influence, you know. Where's your common sense, Mashida? Oh, is that how it is? Back in my day, the teachers would openly smoke in the faculty room. Well, times have changed. You need to be more considerate. What a pain. Anyway, who's that kid on your back? Let me lay her down first, then we can talk. I put the unconscious girl down on the bed. She's totally out of it. Guess I'll just have to leave her here for the moment. All right. Can you give me the details now? Don't exactly expect to reunite with your friend and find him carrying an unconscious girl on their back. Fine. I've got some questions to ask too. Mashita! Satoru Mashita, a mark bearer and former detective who's now working as a private investigator, is not really all that knowledgeable about spirits and paranormal phenomena. But after the events of our shared past, he often joins me when I'm on spirit-related cases. Never would have expected you to come to a place like this, even on an investigation. You mean a school that's still in session? Yeah. Place full of brats sounds like nothing but trouble to me. Hell, I got scolded just for having a freaking smoke. Sneaking into an abandoned school is way easier. Let me just make one thing clear, Mashita. I'm begging you. Please try not to attract any unwanted attention. No guarantees on that one, pal. I'm just gonna do things my own way, and if anyone's got a problem with that, they'll just have to deal with it. The corner of his mouth twitches into a mischievous smile. Mashita's a man who will do anything for his investigation. Mr. Kanoa and Sakamoto will not appreciate his presence or methods. But his eccentric methods have a way of dragging the truth out of situations where a more civilized approach would fail. Mashita was my hero in Death Mark 1. If you didn't see my original playthrough, or my playthrough of Death Mark 1, or just Death Mark, obviously, the 1 is not necessary, he basically saves my keister, and even when things are getting bad and he's supposed to be kind of like sent away, he ends up saving my hide. So I have a soft spot for Mr. Mashita here, because without him, I'd be dead. I mean, all of them, do help me in certain ways, but like he kind of went above and beyond, I would say, kind of thing. Without spoiling Death Mark for you, if you have seen it, you know what I'm talking about. If you haven't, I would highly recommend go and check it out. After you're finished watching this video. Why is he here? Have you finished your job, Mashita? Yeah, can't tell you much about it though, since I'm under NDA. And just when I thought I'd be able to relax for a bit, that hag, Yasuka, asked me to help you out. She's a real slave driver. This man is different from the other mark bearers, because his job, he's a seasoned veteran when it comes to cases involving dangerous and bizarre spirits. If he's offering to help, I'll jump on it. His help makes it that much more likely that Hiru and the departed's targets will survive. Sorry for causing you trouble. Save your thanks for the old bag. I'm just here to work. What do you think about this case? Yasuka gave me a summary of the case. A spirit masquerading as a student, huh? Wonder how their grades are. He's cracking jokes, but his eyes show no trace of a smile. Under the surface, he must be just as tense as we are. You want to know what I think? You're basically being jerked around by the departed's notices. All those spirits from the notices, and you're still no closer to figuring out who the departed is. Maybe you're right. But if I just ignore the notices, someone's going to die. Then what's your plan? You're just gonna keep dancing their tune until they get bored and quit? Don't get sidetracked and forget your original goal, Bilicium. The only way you can solve this case is to find the departed hiding in the school. And what you should do is start looking at everyone around you as a potential suspect. You're right. What have we been doing this whole game, guys? By the way, Bilicium, Mashita jerks his head over in the direction of the girl on the bed. Tell me about her already. How long are you gonna make me wait? This is Sherry. She's a delinquent. That's not actually her name. I just named her for you, for a reference point. She had mushrooms growing out of her neck, really creepy, and she tried to attack us. I share everything I've learned about Mr. Kokkuri and Sherry over there, aka Hooligan, and the events at the shrine. So this kid attacked you. School violence is kind of a lost art these days. What a special moment in your teaching career, huh, Mr. Bilicium? Cut it out with that. Hearing you say that makes my skin crawl. No matter how you choose to look at it, this kid isn't normal. She called us hooligans and had mushrooms growing along her neck. I already said that. Right, considering that, maybe she was possessed by Kokkuri. Ugh, that was not an image I was wanting to see. I recall the time Michio was possessed by Slit-mouthed Kashima. She was fully under the control of the spirit, led by their desires. The student might have been the same as her. Gross. Who is this kid anyway? She doesn't have her student handbook, and no matter how much we shake her, she's not showing any signs of waking up. Wait for her to wake up is such a waste of time. Let's just ask someone else about her. Should be able to find someone who knows who she is pretty quick. She's obviously trying to stand out. Let's ask around about the petri dish too, while we're at it. Who knows, maybe we can learn who placed this inside the shrine. So we're just gonna show that thing to the students. They're going to start talking about it to me. Too late to worry about your reputation. You already tricked 2 female students into breaking their curfew. I don't care if you get all chummy with those brats for the investigation, but you better not do something weird that ends up blowing back onto me, Bilicium. Give me a break, you two. I really hope this puts a stop to this topic. I'll have whoever I don't bring with me keep an eye on the unconscious girl while I resume the investigation. Let's see if anyone at the school can tell me about this girl or the petri dish. Notes made on the subject, delinquent girl and creepy petri dish. Satori Mashita joined the investigation. Yay! Oh, wait. Do we read this? I don't think we did. A pharmaceutical researcher. She's been friends with the protagonist since he saved her life during a bizarre case. A person who hates things unexplained by logic. She's willing to risk her life to sate her curiosity. Satori. A blunt, sarcastic? A blunt, sarcastic former police detective. Ever since the protagonist saved his life in a bizarre case, he's been working as a private detective. Most of his requests involve spirits, so he's formed a deep bond with the protagonist. He doggedly pursued a case until the end. Okay. That's the only sacred object I have. Okay. We're gonna exchange. Irrepressibly curious researcher. Grizzled, unorthodox ex-detective. Let's do a talk. The female student hasn't come to yet. I'll call Mashita's phone if she does. Just keep going with your investigation. And we're going to end the episode there because we are probably about halfway through, and I don't want to drag this on too long. So I think about an hour's good amount of time for the episode. So we're going to end it here, and we will come back in the next episode and possibly solve the mystery of Kokkuri. And maybe even get a little bit closer to discovering who the departed is. Or maybe in a strange turn of events, we will figure out who the departed is before we face Kokkuri. And therefore maybe weaken the curses and the ghosts that seem to be popping up through the school. I don't suspect that's the case though, but I do think that the departed is sort of working as an amplifier and making these spirits that maybe existed here much stronger and more powerful, just like they had expressed with Slit-mouthed. I don't know that any of these spirits are really special in any way besides the fact that they're just the normal roaming spirits in the school. Like I said, I think she's amplifying, or it. I don't know if it's male or female, this departed, but yeah. So that's kind of my theory on that. If you guys have any ideas who you think it might be, leave a comment down below. Again, please no spoilers. If you already know how this plays out, please don't ruin it for any of the viewers. If I do see any comments that are spoiling anything, I will delete them. But if you do want to just participate in kind of theory crafting, please feel free to leave comments down below what your theories are, why you kind of theorize such things. It's kind of my favorite part of playing these kinds of games, is trying to figure it out. So hence the reason I share my theories with you guys, and I hope that doesn't ruin the experience for you. But yeah, it's just kind of how I like to play. So that's going to do it for this episode. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope that you will join me for the next one. But until then, and as always, do take care, everyone.